At the foot of one of Africa's most powerful volcanoes lies a people whose history is deeply tied to the land beneath their feet. They are the Bakweri, an indigenous community of southwestern Cameroon. For centuries, they lived in harmony with Mount Cameroon, known to them as Ngoma Ndemi, the throne of the gods. But in the late 19th century, colonial expansion would disrupt their world forever. This is the story of origin, dispossession, and resistance. The Bakweri are a Bantu-speaking people. Like many Central African communities, their ancestors migrated gradually from the Congo Basin region centuries ago. Oral tradition tells of small groups moving through dense forests until they reached the fertile slopes of Mount Cameroon. Here, they settled. The volcanic soil was rich. Streams flowed from the mountain. The forest provided game and medicinal plants. The mountain was not just geography, it was spiritual. The Bakweri believed Mount Cameroon was sacred, a dwelling place of ancestral and spiritual forces. Their society was organized into independent villages such as Bweya, Bonjongo, Likombe, Wotutu, and Bimbia. Each village was led by a chief, not as a king, but as a custodian of tradition and land. Land was communal. It could not be permanently sold. It belonged to generations past, present, and unborn. For centuries, this system sustained them. In 1884, everything changed. During the European scramble for Africa, Germany declared Cameroon a protectorate. German traders and naval officers signed treaties along the coast. Soon after, military forces expanded inland. The fertile lands of the Bakweri attracted immediate attention. German authorities declared large areas crown land. But to the Bakweri, this land was ancestral, inherited through lineage and sacred obligation. To the colonial administration, it was property for economic exploitation. Plantations were established for rubber, cocoa, bananas, and oil palm. German companies such as Vuermann and Janssen and Thormalen acquired vast tracts of territory. Villages were displaced. Farms were absorbed into plantation estates. The foundation of Bakweri society, land, was being taken. Resistance followed. Some Bakweri communities refused labor demands. Others protested land seizures. However, German colonial forces were heavily armed and well organized. Military patrols enforced plantation boundaries. Punitive expeditions discouraged rebellion. While there was no single large-scale war led by a central Bakweri king, because their system was decentralized, there were localized confrontations and acts of defiance. Ultimately, superior weaponry and administrative control allowed the Germans to impose authority. The social and economic structure of Bakweri life had been permanently altered. In 1901, Bweya became the capital of German Cameroon. Colonial administrative buildings rose at the foot of Mount Cameroon. Roads were constructed. European-style residences were built. The symbolic heart of Bakweri territory became the seat of colonial governance. The mountain that once represented spiritual guardianship now overlooked foreign rule. When Germany was defeated in World War I, Cameroon was divided. The Bakweri homeland fell under British administration as part of British Cameroons. But independence for the land did not follow. Plantations remained. Ownership structures changed hands, but not back to the indigenous communities. The land question remained unresolved. In the 1940s and 1950s, a new form of resistance emerged. Bakweri elites and leaders formed the Bakweri Land Committee. Rather than armed resistance, they pursued legal and diplomatic channels. They petitioned British authorities. They brought their case before the United Nations Trusteeship Council. Their argument was simple. The land taken under German rule was ancestral property and should be returned. This movement became one of the most organized indigenous land claims in Cameroon's history. When Cameroon gained independence and reunified in 1961, plantation lands were transferred to the Cameroon Development Corporation. Yet, debates over rightful ownership continued. The land issue remains sensitive to this day. Several prominent individuals emerged from the Bakweri region in the 20th century. Dr. E.M.L. Endeley, a major political leader of British Southern Cameroons, played a significant role during the independence and reunification era. Traditional chiefs across Bakweri villages maintained cultural authority through colonial and post-colonial transitions. Their leadership preserved identity during profound political change. Today, the Bakweri remain deeply connected to Mount Cameroon. Their language, Mokpwe, continues to be spoken. Traditional institutions endure. The annual Mount Cameroon Race of Hope takes place on land that carries centuries of memory. The story of the Bakweri is not simply a story of colonialism. It is a story of continuity, a story of land, contested but not forgotten. The story of a people who remain at the foot of the mountains they have called home for generations. Mount Cameroon still stands. And so do they. The Bakweri people of Cameroon, with a rich cultural heritage and resilient spirit, have produced leaders, activists, and champions who continue to shape their community and nation. From history, we remember Dr. E.M.L. Endeley, a pioneering political leader and one of the first Cameroonian statesmen during the colonial era. He fought tirelessly for Bakweri representation and played a key role in shaping the political future of southern Cameroons. We also honored Chief Kuva Likenye, a traditional leader who safeguarded Bakweri ancestral lands and preserved cultural heritage during colonial times. His guidance laid the foundation for modern Bakweri governance. In contemporary times, the Bakweri continue to shine. Dr. Robert Esuka Mbella Endeley, the paramount chief, promotes cultural revival, defends ancestral land rights, and supports the welfare of his people. Nalova Lyonga, former Minister of Secondary Education, has contributed significantly to national education reforms while representing the interests of the Bakweri community on a broader stage. Sports have also seen Bakweri excellence. Njie Clinton, a former professional footballer, played for Tottenham Hotspur, Marseille, and Olympique Lyonnais, becoming a celebrated figure in international football. Dr. Efety Kombe Elizabeth, also known as Lizzy Bronte, stands out as a humanitarian and activist. Through the Just Like You Global Foundation, she combats domestic violence, human trafficking, and child abuse, while promoting education, public health, and the cultural heritage of the Bakweri people. Athletic achievement is further embodied by Serah Etonde, the queen of the Mount Cameroon Race of Hope, a multiple-time winner whose dedication and spirit inspire generations. Finally, Peter Mafanny Musonge, a prominent political and public service figure, continues to contribute to regional development and governance in the Southwest Region of Cameroon. Together, these figures illustrate the strength, resilience, and leadership of the Bakweri people, a community that continues to honor its past while shaping its future.